Well, hey, hello everybody. Happy April. Welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday. My name is Ken Close. I am Healy World member here in the US, like most of you guys. I am host tonight, and I've got an amazing co-host, Jake Barron, head of operations for the Americas. Jake, welcome. How you doing?
Great. Thanks, Ken. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello. And we have an amazing representative from our customer service department. Is it Christian with us tonight?
Yes, Christian's here to help in the chat. Thank you so much.
Christian's in the house.
Uh,
All right. Well, hey, welcome, Christian. Thank you so much for being here. I know you're going to be of awesome assistance. So if you guys have never been to a Tech Tip Tuesday, let me tell you what this is all about. This is a chat-based forum where you guys put your questions in the chat, and then myself and Jake and Christian, sometimes the audience, we unpack those questions, we solve the mysteries, and come up with solutions, right? So that's what we do. What we can't do is we can't talk about anything medically related, diagnosis, treatments, diseases, disorders, those kind of things, or applications so much that is address those. We have tools for that, and we can certainly talk about those tools, but that's how it works. So hopefully you guys have some great questions for us this evening, and I say we get started. How about that, Jake?
Sounds great to me.
All right. Well, let's see. If you guys don't put questions in there, we'll talk about something, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got lots to talk about.
Yeah, and today was, like I said just before we started the recording, I said, hey, hello again, Jake. That's because I was on the Frequencies and Friends call today, and Jake gave us some great information there.
Yeah, okay. Looks like Lindley's got a question. Says, I'm having trouble with a Healy that was working beautifully, but now the Bluetooth won't turn on. Okay. Says all I get is device not found. But when I try to connect with it, it connects to another Healy that is in another room.
Hmm.
It sounds like there's some Bluetooth interference going on here. Ken, what do you think?
Yeah, so here is a fun way one way to check to see what's going on. You can go to if you're on the Healy 2 app, the microcurrent app, or the pink app. If you are on that one, um and you open that app, when you first open it, of course, it shows you a list of devices that have been connected before. um and if there's a little circle dot next to them, that means that they are turned on, right? And you could actually choose to connect to them via the Bluetooth. Now, that's one way to see, is it even picking up the device? You know what I mean? In other words, is the app itself recognizing that there is a device out there? Um, and the other thing to make sure of is that if you have had the pink app open and connected to that device before, and then you go to open the blue app, or vice versa, right? The Healy hardware can only be connected to one app at a time. So you may not be seeing the blue flashing light, but it could still be connected to another app. So first step is to hard close everything. Now, um, if you have an iPhone or an Android, you should know how to hard close apps on your device. So make sure you hard close all the apps in the background. All right, start over. Turn your Healy on. Now, if it's picking up a Healy in the other room, then turn that Healy off. Or if that Healy is plugged in, unplug it and make sure it's turned off. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're trying to eliminate potential interferences. As Jake said, if you've got a lot of Bluetooth devices, doesn't have to be Healys. It could be speakers, right? It could be
Mhm.
other things that use Bluetooth, right? Turn those things off. And by closing the app on your smart device, that will help to shut down those connections. Okay. So then start with that new app. the Healy 2 app, open it, and turn your Healy on. Now, when you first open the app itself, it doesn't matter if it's the blue app. When you first open it, it can open without a Healy, right? It will show at the top right corner a little red emblem for the connection of the Bluetooth. It'll be in red, meaning it's not connected to anything. When you open the Healy 2 app, it's going to start searching for devices right away. And if it finds nothing, it's just going to go back to search for devices. Okay. So we need to know a little bit more about what you're seeing.
Lindley, if you can in the chat, which app are you having this trouble with? Is it with the Analyze app, or is this the Healy 2 app as well? Just curious as far as which one you're having the difficulty with here.
Yeah, we would like to know that for sure, because it's again, either app you can kind of tell if the app is picking up a Healy or recognizing that there's something in the vicinity. Also understand that the Bluetooth connection that Healy uses is what's called BLE, or Bluetooth Low Energy. So it is the lowest energy signal of Bluetooth that can be transmitted and still connect. So it's only got a max range of 32 feet or 3 meters, and that's line of sight. So if it's in another room, that even, because it's going through walls, that kind of thing, it's going to shorten that distance even more. But if you've got a Healy right next to you and it's picking up a Healy in another room, right, it's got to be, they must be close.
Yeah.
So,
and if it is, I mean, it's very easy, especially with the Healy 2 app, to just delete that one and reinstall. So both apps here, it won't get to the red part. So yeah, I mean, she's, the hard close, the apps, deleted apps. Have you done the hard reset on your Healy device too? That would be the next step there.
yeah. So if you have chosen to turn Bluetooth off, right, on one of the apps, okay, you are on the pink app. If you chose to turn Bluetooth off, it turns the Bluetooth chip off in the Healy, and you actually have to press the start button twice, right, just in case. Now, by doing the reset that Jake just said, that's holding the power button down for a minimum of 10 seconds. You're looking for the green light to come on. It's going to come on solid, right? And then release it, and it'll stay solid for a second and then go off. When it does that, that means it's reset. Okay. And that's going to turn the Bluetooth back on. It's going to put all the factory settings back online. So give that a try. But remember, folks, we now have the ability to turn the Bluetooth chip off in our Healy from the app. And when you do that, there's a process to turn it back on. It's not just press the button once. You have to press. Okay. And then that kind of resets the Bluetooth chip. Okay. And we can do all kinds of demos here on the screen if we need to. I mean, it can show you, that reset function is super powerful.
That's always, you don't normally need to do that, but occasionally that might be what you're going to need to do to solve a situation like that.
Yeah. Who knows what caused it? Sometimes it's like I wear my Healy all the time. I'm very active, sometimes under my shirt, and if I'm leaning against something, I can actually accidentally press the button. And if I can turn it off, and I look at my app and I'm like, what happened? What happened to my program? So anyway, you never know.
Yeah. Well, let's see. There's a question here about wanting to know more about the Cosmic Growth Program. So actually, this is probably a good time. Let me share the agenda for this Thursday. We have our next Healy for Beginners and Beyond, and we are going to discuss some things related to the Cosmic Growth Program. But let me go ahead and I'll share my screen, and we can just kind of run through this, give people a preview of what is coming this Thursday. So yeah, Thursday, April 4th, 4/4/24, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Actually, that should say Eastern Daylight Time now. But anyway, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We are doing a Spring 2024 at Healy World. What's new and trending? So we've got a lot of different things going on. Some brand new, some things that are just kind of hot topics right now. A lot of people asking questions about them, wanting to learn more. So we're going to start off by talking a little bit more about the Cosmic Growth Program. You know, there was a great training on What's Up Wednesday last week that went into some more in-depth behind kind of what is the Fibonacci sequence, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. And we're actually going to show some many screenshots of how this program works in the Healy app, because I know not everybody has it already. You know, we started the process of adding it to the hundreds of thousands of devices we have worldwide on March 15th. So that was only about 2 weeks ago. To complete the process, it could take up to 2 months. So, you know, some people have it. A lot of people still are waiting for it, but we're going to kind of, for those of you that have it, give some more detail. For those of you that don't have it, we'll show you how exactly it looks in the app. And then if you're not sure if you have it yet, we'll show you how to check to see maybe you just haven't done an update in your app, and how to manually check for updates as well. Maybe it'll pop up during the call, and you'll be able to use it there. But you know, for me, the Fibonacci sequence, it's a very powerful program, but it's very simple in how it works as far as the sequence goes there. So, but we'll talk more about that on Thursday, and then we're also going to talk about some of the updates to the Healy 2 app in the most recent version that came out 1.45.2. We mentioned it on on Frequencies and Friends earlier today, that you can now change the current level of your Healy. We're going to talk about that again, but kind of go even a little bit deeper to show the entire process there and what to look out for when you're doing that. And then also something that hasn't been discussed before, and I'm not going to discuss it on this call, just kind of give you a hint that we're going to talk about. There's a new default current level coming to the Healy device in the month of April. We'll share some details on that. And then the updated Heal Advisor app. There's been a week or two ago, the 1.12.6, there was some optimizations related to the Healy demo experience. We'll just quickly go through that. There's a small update, but it was a very important update on that. And then MagHealy water application. We had a lot of questions on that on Tech Tip Tuesday the last few weeks. So we'll talk, you know, it's heating up again. It's getting warm out there. People are, you know, talking about hydration again. So we'll talk about tips related to that and, you know, the power of the MagHealy water application. And then we're going to close with some updates on what's the best way to get support right now here at Healy World. You know, we have live chat now in US, Canada, and Mexico. Definitely the fastest way. We'll talk a little bit more about that, how to find that, how to use that, what to expect. And then also for those of you that haven't experienced it, we've have been doing tech support via one-on-one Zoom meetings in the past. We recently switched over to a new booking system, and we're using Microsoft Teams now for those video calls. But for those of you that haven't used one before, we'll kind of tell you what they are, when we use those, and what to expect if you are asked to go ahead and continue your troubleshooting via one of these video meetings. And you see at the bottom, the QR code, if you scan that, there's a link to register for the meeting coming up on Thursday, or you can just go to healyfbb.com. That'll also take you to the Zoom registration page there. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of different topics, but we're going to cover everything that's important right now.
A lot of stuff going on right there. A lot of important stuff. Yeah, that's great. Okay, let's see. So Lindley's asking which Healy for beginners and beyond. So so Christian is adding some things there, some links, folks, for solutions to how to connect to Bluetooth and how to some frequently asked questions around that subject. So there's a link in there to a Healy for Beginners and Beyond where Jake talked about this. So that link automatically takes you right to the episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I saw another one, a question about will cosmic growth show up on all my Healys? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be on all of your devices because it's on your account. And any device assigned to your account is going to get the update. Okay. Well, it's going to be on all Healy accounts. So
Yeah. And anybody new that's ordered since March 15th, it's on there automatically when they purchase. So there was a related to the hard reset question, Ken. So says, does my Healy need to be on the charger when doing the hard reset or not? So we've shown that before, right, Ken? You really can do it either way. As far as the process goes.
Yeah, when you do that hard reset when it's on the charger, it's kind of resetting that charging protocol, but you can do it either way. I always recommend people do that reset when it's not plugged in because the green light is off.
Yeah.
And you kind of get an idea of how long you have to press that power button for the green light to come on solid. It's hard to tell, when the device is plugged in because the green light's on, right? So, and it's, it's about 10, 15 seconds, something like that. You're holding that button down. So I always recommend you do it with it not plugged in. If you're trying to reset the charge cycle because there's some problem, with the device not charging properly, or I should say with the representation of the charge. So in other words, in the app shows you kind of a battery indicator, right? And that could get out of calibration. And then it seems like your Healy goes dead quicker than it used to. Well, there's a process for recalibrating that as well. Anyway, okay. So what else do we have? Anything else?
Let's see.
And of course, you guys, these tips, hopefully they help. And if they don't, submitting a customer service ticket will help to put you into the system and get you some more support. But it's like Jake said, there's even live support, right? So there's so much now. I remember I've been with Healy for, let's see, since 2019. And I remember it's a lot better now.
Looks like there's a couple of questions that came in. So we have one first question is it true that each Healy device only has so many sessions that can run before you have to buy another one? So I think this is relating to the battery question. If you look through the instructions for use document, there's a number of charge cycles essentially, which for those of us that have been with Healy for a while, we have Healys that are well beyond those number of charge cycles. That's just kind of, you're required to put something in the documentation there. It doesn't mean that after 500 charges, it's going to die. It won't be able to get to 501. But yeah, it's not related to the number of sessions. It's more so the actual charging cycles. And of course, it depends on how often you have to charge. It depends on how many programs you're running per day and how long those programs are and what intensity those programs are run at as well. So there's kind of a big range between how often you might need to charge your device. But many people have Healys that are 3-4 years old that are still going strong with still great battery performance.
This one that I'm running right now is my original Healy. And so it's from 2019. And I can't tell you how many times I've charged it.
Yeah.
I have 3 Healys that I use on a regular basis because sometimes I do deplete the battery on one, but that's after I've ran several programs with it. You should easily get 4 programs, most likely,
Mhm.
out of
Yeah.
out of one charge. So yeah, that's normal. So another part of that question, do you want to address that one too about the coil? I mean, the question is, does it matter if you have the coil in? In other words, you have the coil plugged into your device, then start the Pink app and choose your program, or do you need to have the coil out and then choose your program, let it load, and that kind of thing? So no, it doesn't matter either way, because the actual beginning of the program doesn't start until it's all loaded into the Healy. And whether you have the coil plugged in or not, there's actually no signal going to whether you have the wires plugged in or the coil plugged in, or there's no signal going to that output yet. So you can have your coil plugged in, you can have your leads plugged in, and then once it starts, then you can make your adjustments. And to be honest with you can make the adjustments and then plug your coil in. I mean, there's all kinds of ways. It doesn't cause, like, say, any kind of arcing or electrical surges or any of that kind of thing. None of that happens. The magnetic field that is being transmitted out of the coil begins the moment that the coil is plugged into the port and current flow is implemented from the program. Then the field turns on. Any interruption in that, the field turns off. It doesn't cause any arcing or malfunctions. So it's a very, I mean, the cool thing about it is, I want you guys to understand microcurrent. Microcurrent is very low energy. So maybe you guys are familiar with, say, some kind of an arc, or you get a spark from an outlet or some electrical charge like that. That will never happen from Healy because it's microcurrent. It's a very small amount of power, but way more than enough to energize cells, right? To communicate with cells. That's why it's microcurrent. It's a subtle current for your body. Okay. That makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense, and add more if there's more details you need.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Christian, for adding some more information related to the battery. Appreciate that. There's a question, how much is it to replace the Healy hardware in MagHealy? So yeah, for those of you that are either out of warranty or maybe you lost your device, it got damaged, you dropped it in the water, that kind of thing, washed it in the washing machine, whatever the case may be. Yeah, there is a fee replacement for both the Healy and MagHealy, to where no matter what edition you bought, even if you spent $3,000 on a Healy Professional Edition, the cost to replace it is $365 US plus any applicable taxes. And that will give you everything you had before, whichever edition it was, any expert programs, that kind of thing would all be transferred over to that new device. And then for MagHealy, which is more expensive hardware, that one is $700 for the, sorry, $725. Thank you, Christian. plus any taxes as well.
Yeah, the hardware, and I get this question quite often. People ask me, the gold edition versus, say, the professional edition, do you get different hardware? And it's not, we all know it's the same hardware, the kit, it's the same hardware kit. It's just access to different programs and different modules that you get from the editions. So yeah, and so again, replacing the hardware, you're going to get full function out of it again. And I even have I told you earlier about my original Healy, this guy right here, had the plastic clip on the back, right? So the new one you get is going to be the newest, latest, greatest hardware. Whatever changes are being done, you'll get the most updated one.
Okay, next question I see here. This is, when you purchase the SoulCycle or any other program group module, can it be put on both of your own devices? If we do, how do we go about that, as it's presently only on one? So when you add on a program, whether it's a subscription or a one-time purchase, a module like Natural Cycle or SoulCycle, that kind of thing, it's added to one device. So it doesn't if you have 10 Healys on your account, it doesn't automatically get added to all 10. That's why when you actually go to purchase it, there's a drop-down box in the shop, and you have to select the serial number that you wanted added to. So that's how you go about it. You can transfer it from, if you need to for some reason, from one of your devices on your account to another one on your account, but it won't be added to both. It'll just be moved from one to the other.
Right. There was a question up here, something about remind you about what was it? What we get this month for sales or something like that. Trying to find it. The questions are moving quick.
If you sell personal Healy device, so just for one, I don't believe there's any difference for one. There is a promo related to if you sell two, I believe by the 18th, you can earn free night at the upcoming homecoming event in Cancun. So that's at the all-inclusive resort we're staying at. It's a $400+ value. You can earn up to 2 nights this month, and then also if you do just in general for the entire month, if you sell, I believe it was 3 between April 2nd or April 1st through April 30th, is where you can earn a MagHealy Classic, and you can repeat that cycle up to 2 times.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, unless you're in your fast start program, then there's some cash bonuses
Yeah.
for sell.
I
But
believe there's a recap with all those details of frequencies and friends going out tomorrow. So there should be an email newsletter that has all those details as well.
yeah, and there were some great pictures on there, so screenshots are always handy. I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
I will sit on these calls on my computer, but then I have my smart device on at the same time on the same call, so I can do screenshots. And I mean, you know, taking notes, especially if you're multitasking, it's easier for a screenshot than for me anyway, than to sit and write notes. But yeah, that's it's gonna have a recording there for you guys to take a peek at, just like this call, everybody. You know that there's going to be a recording of this on the Healy World America's YouTube page. So definitely take a look at those and subscribe. Everybody subscribe to that channel and click on the little bell so you get notifications when new recordings pop up. If you guys want to save the chat, if you see some links and stuff in the chat, if you don't know how to save the chat, down at the bottom of your screen where you're typing in your content, next to the smiley face is 3 little dots. You click on those 3 little dots. It'll pop up a menu it'll say save chat. That only works if you're on your laptop or your computer. It doesn't work on a smart device, but you could save the chat if you're on one of those. Okay. All right. So Trish is on here, says my MagHealy rattles. Is there a way to test if it's still working? So we've had actually this before. We've had a couple of questions on this. I would submit a support ticket, Trish, to customer service about that. If there's something broken or dislodged inside, I would definitely do that. Okay.
Yeah, they'll run you through any necessary steps to check, and then we also can have it sent to our office here in Orlando. We have our tech support team there is excellent, and we have a sort of a mini lab now set up. Miguel from our tech support team has kind of led the creation of that, and we kind of can check certain things, do troubleshooting, confirm, and then if everything works out, if the device needs to be replaced, we can replace it. If not, we can send it back and confirm that maybe it was an environmental issue, was maybe causing an issue versus an actual hardware issue.
Yeah, definitely. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? I mean, let's check it out.
Yep.
So Maria's asking here, can we can put the apps or programs on 3 devices, correct? Like 2 or 3 different cell phones. Yes. Yeah, you load the apps on the different devices, whether it's an iPad, a tablet, an iPhone, an Android smart device. Add the apps to that. Now, I want you guys to remember that the app is just this skeletal structure until it links to a Healy. And then your Healy is kind of the portal between your account, right, and all of the features that your edition has. So once it links via the serial number or a code, if it's the Blue app, there's going to be a code emailed to you when you log in. Whatever the way that it authenticates your account and your hardware, then all the content is loaded into the app. Prior to that, if you just load the app on a smart device, right, you can do that. You can go to the App Store and load these apps, but they're just skeletal structures. They don't do anything, right? So until you link it with your Healy, and you can do that on multiple smart devices. My family, everybody's got a smart device. I've got all the apps loaded on there. So I don't have to loan out mine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Great questions, by the way, you guys. Jenna says you do screenshots too, right, with your phone? See, I know we kind of go the easy route. No, hey, you're busy, right? It's time efficient in my world. Okay. I might be a little behind. Do you see anything new there, Jake?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what this. So another question from Jana here is there's something that a new user doesn't get if a device is transferred to them in April versus if it was transferred in March. Does that help? Doesn't help 100% for me, but I don't. As far as the only thing I can think of that doesn't transfer, it wasn't nothing related to April versus March, but last year, it was devices purchased before October 1st of last year included lifetime access to the professional plan in the Analyze 2 app, which was the unlimited clients, unlimited data, that kind of thing. That doesn't transfer over to somebody if a device purchased before October 1st gets transferred to somebody that joins today, that lifetime plan doesn't transfer over. It's based on when that person's account was created. So, but that was September versus October, not March versus April. So that's the only thing I can think of that was sort of limiting as far as what transfers or not. Can you think of anything, Ken?
Yeah, I like what you said there, Jake, too, because to differentiate, like, let's say you set your account up, you bought a Healy or whatever, and you set your account up prior to October 1st, right? Then all the features to you are assigned to your account. And then let's say I don't know, somebody gifts you a Healy and you transfer it to your account. It's your account that accesses or authorizes all the features, not the Healy. So when the Healy is transferred, is not really relevant. What is relevant is, say somebody transfers a gold edition Healy to you versus a professional edition. Then of course there's different features on that. But when I say transfer, they're like, you can transfer a Healy from me to you, right? I could just do that through customer service, take my serial number, then I ship the hardware to you, transfer the device to you. Now it shows up on your account, and all the features that I purchased with that is now on your account. But things such that timed out, such as the things prior to October, that's relative to your account, not mine. So, like Jake was saying, the the feature of having unlimited clients on the Blue app, right? Which was changed after October. Now there's levels of clients you can have. Okay. And Trish has kind of had a question here a little bit about when you mentioned environmental, when you send a hardware in and they determine what's going on, whether it's relative to the device or environmental. He's not talking about the environmental app or anything like that. And what he means by that is environmental to your house. You know, if something was going on in your space and then you send it to customer service and they couldn't reproduce it, right? And so that means it was something relative to your space and not the device, not the hardware. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Sorry. I know the question was about rattling. I was just saying in general, what types of things the tech lab can talk about as well. Because yeah, maybe it's the Wi-Fi network at home, and it's like, we do the troubleshooting, do a video Zoom call, and we're like, this doesn't make sense. And if we bring the device to our office and it works perfectly, then yeah, there's something going on that particular network or whatever that might be preventing the use of the Healy device itself. So it kind of helps us as well learn from that and then provide better responses going forward to or additional troubleshooting.
absolutely.
And Christian was just in the tech lab today doing some troubleshooting on the MagHealy, so he's very experienced with that as well.
That's awesome. Thanks, Christian. That's great. So Maria's saying, so can you do more than 3 devices? In other words, can you load the apps on multiple devices? Sure, you can. I mean, test it, experiment with it. How many devices can you have the apps on and then go and activate the Healy with them? Give it a test drive. You're not going to break it. You won't break it. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Trish is asking, say you have a Healy Pro. It should go with the Healy. So no incentive to transfer the Healy. Not sure what that means. So if you have a Healy Professional, and you've got all the features if you have a Healy Professional. I'm not sure what the
So Ken, I mentioned prior to October 1st, everybody gets lifetime access to the professional plan. It is confusing because I'm talking about the professional plan for the Analyse app, not the professional edition of the Healy. And this hasn't gone into effect yet. This isn't live. There was an announcement last month that it's going to be pushed back at least probably until October before anything happens related to these new plans for the Analyse app. So it's really nothing in the near future, and we would announce 2 months prior to this actually happening when it would actually go live. So this is, yes, if you have a Healy Professional Edition and you want to transfer to somebody, the Professional Edition goes along with it. It's just this new plan that hasn't gone live yet doesn't transfer from one account to the other.
He's talking about the number of clients you can have within the Analysis, within the Healy analysis within this program right here that's off to my shoulder here. It is the Heal Advisor Analyze. So you have you can have right now unlimited clients, right? You have a whole bunch of clients in there and do all the work you do. Remember there was 3 different tiers. It was talking about the family, friends and family plan. In other words, it was going to be levels of clients that you could have, right? How many clients could you have? And there was a plan called the Professional, right? So not related to the Healy Professional Edition. I know, kind of confusing. We got the same word, but it's talking about 2 different, essentially 2 different features. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I have a link I can share. Again, this isn't going to happen for another 6 months or so, probably. So don't want to spend too much time on it because it's not happening anytime soon. But let me
There was
we can
a,
continue on with the questions here, and we'll see.
yeah, and there was a What's Up Wednesday that was covered.
Yeah, last late summer, early fall, I think probably September. I have to go back and look to find the exact one, but
Yeah,
yeah, we did share it.
and it's going to be on the YouTube page, right? What's Up Wednesday is going to be
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
YouTube page. You could kind of go back and see the details of that. Um, okay.
So, and there is a free plan. It's not everyone will still have access to the free plan, and anybody new would automatically get 6 months of the professional plan in the Analyze app for free as well as a trial. So there's again more details will be shared as we get closer to it, and it could change some from when we first discussed it. It'll be almost a year ago at that point. But
Okay, let's see. I'm kind of catching up here, I think.
so Lindley mentioned did the hard reset 3 times, and now Bluetooth is working. So
Woohoo!
great. That's what we like to hear. Start the call with an issue and um, solve it in real time during the call. But so the it's been updating the configuration for quite some time. The arrows are not moving though. So yeah, Christian thank you for putting the disconnect from the Wi-Fi and retry to update the app configuration there.
Yeah, sometimes remember, guys, that when you are activating the apps, in other words, you're populating the content. Remember, I said earlier that these apps are just skeletal structures until you use the activation process from your account. And if it's the pink app, it's essentially, finding the serial number, connecting to the Healy hardware that way, and then whatever addition you have populates those programs. If it's the blue app, then it has to go through the authentication process when you log in, sending you an email code to your email address, and then you put the code in the app, and then that populates it. Now, the population process is this synchronization, and you'll see the raining down, right, of the animation on your app. And that raining down process is the app connecting through some data port, whether it be a Wi-Fi that you have your smart device connected to, or your cellular data stream. And if you're connected to a Wi-Fi and that raining down of data is sitting there just cycling and cycling and cycling and cycling, it's not the Healy and it's not the app. It's most likely the bandwidth or the Wi-Fi you're connected to. And especially, like, I have people who do this stuff like at coffee shops or at public Wi-Fi's, and all of a sudden, it's not doing its thing. It's not updating. It's not completing the task. Well, could be because the Wi-Fi that you're on, it has a very low bandwidth, and it's in the stream that's coming through is kind of like restricted, and there's a lot of content trying to come through, so it's taking forever, and it will time out. It'll fail. So, like Jake said, it's better, or like Christian shared, turn your Wi-Fi off. If you've got good cell service wherever you are, like you're on a 5G network or an LTE network or something like that, then that bandwidth of data stream might be better than your Wi-Fi was. Does that make sense? So, we gotta not blame everything on Healy and the apps. Sometimes it has to do with the technology supporting our smartphone, which would bottleneck up even if you were doing, say, maybe an email download, right? So understand that these smart devices are connecting via a wireless connection somehow, whether it's your cell network or a Wi-Fi. And that has a big influence.
And the most recent update is it's now working fully. Thank you so much. So great.
Love that
Yeah,
news. Woo.
yeah.
We'll
Another
we'll
success story.
we'll put a W in the Tech Tip Tuesday one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right, we'll put a W up.
So yeah, back to the feed, the Analyze app sort of plans. They're gonna at some point go live later this year. Yeah, that has not. It was supposed to start in April, so it was announced that starting October 1st, everybody that joins gets a 6 month trial of the highest plan, and then starting April 1st, any associated fees would be charged. We announced a month ago that that's going to be pushed back at least 6 months before that starts. So nothing started on April 1st as far as any Analyze 2 app plans. And we will, if when the time does come to start that later this year, we would give at least 2 months notice before those would go into effect. And yes, thank you for the feedback that maybe don't call it the professional plan to avoid confusion. So, hey, we have time now, so maybe that is something that we can adjust.
Agreed. I know. I remember it was, when I was first learning about Healy, trying to figure out Heal Advisor, Analyze, Heal Advisor search. I was like, okay, I had to get, in the Americas or in the US, we're used to a certain, I don't know, differentiation, right? Um, but so we had to get used to stuff a little differently. Okay. I think we're caught up, Jake.
I think so too.
I like it. And I do like these successes, Lindley's working fully now. And now, here's the cool thing is like that reset process, and or the disconnect from the Wi-Fi. Those little things are little, right? They seem insignificant but small. But now you have new skills, and you run across somebody else that might be having the same issue. Hey, you share this, right? Definitely, by the way, folks, if you find this call useful, share it with your teams, with your clients, your customers. We're happy to help support them. And when you send a customer here and we're able to, talk to their question live, and they've got, corporate representation with Jake and Christian, technical representation from the engineering perspective, me, um, maybe they may feel more supported. So share it.
Hey, what else we got here? Got about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
That was related to the rattling. There was a comment also that our Marjorie had one that was rattling, but then it stopped rattling and it worked fine. So um yeah.
Yeah. Um, you know, in manufacturing, there are, in the cabinets and casings, you've got, mold. The molding, sometimes has little tidbits of plastic, and or it's usually it's plastic, and it's tiny, but when it rattles inside of a cabinet, it kind of amplifies, and you think, wow, there's something huge in there. But irregardless, I highly recommend that you be safer than sorry by, submitting a customer service ticket. And then if
Yeah.
necessary, get sent in and checked out.
Mhm. Okay. Let's see.
Um, I think we're caught up. I know we are.
Yeah, I think so. Well, a couple of reminders while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, but there's no What's Up Wednesday tomorrow for those of you that normally join us on Wednesdays at 1 Eastern. Because of frequencies and friends today, Usually if it's, on that day or within a day, we typically just focus on the recap and getting that information out there. But of course, Healy for Beginners will be on Thursday. Definitely want everyone to join us for that at 3 Eastern.
Share that with everybody, you guys.
Yeah,
Come on. Let's pack the house.
yeah. And we
Sh-
are going to have translation into Spanish on that as well. We have a lot of people from our Mexico and Colombia teams joining us too.
Yeah, I think that's great. We've moved a long ways from where we
Yep.
were. Now Americas. So I love it. Let's see. And so here's a comment. Sherry commented about that her Healy had to be replaced. But why is the new device still the original purchase date? Well, this is common with warranties. Warranties across the planet pretty much it's common practice that when you originally purchase something and it has a factory defect, right? That's what's warrantable, a factory defect with that one device. Then the period of time that it was covered is consistent. And you get a new device that replaces the defect. That new device doesn't come with a new reset in the warranty. It's still within your purchase agreement. That's the original contract. That's just standard warranty process.
Yeah. I mean, if you lose, say you have your Healy, had it for a year already, and you lose your Healy and have to buy one again at that fee replacement, that $365 fee, if you go through that process, then you would start a new 2-year warranty. You would have more than just that next 1 year that you would have had remaining on the one that you lost. You get a fresh new 2-year warranty in that case.
Yeah, because that's a new purchase agreement, right? That's a new purchase agreement with a new implied warranty. Resets the whole clock. So, and that's standard process. Okay. So Janice is saying, say that one more time. I'm not sure. If we're talking about the warranty.
Join us for Healy for Beginners and Beyond Thursday at 3 Eastern.
Yep.
But yes, I'm not sure if that was the reminder, but yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern time, healyfbb.com to join. So no Zoom tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, no What's Up Wednesday, which we normally do have at 1 Eastern each Wednesday, but because of frequencies and friends that took place today, we're going to skip this week.
And by the way, folks, there is a calendar. Healy has a
Yeah.
calendar page. What is that link, Jake?
It's HealyAmericasEvents.com. I'll put the link into the chat here.
Healy America's events. Events. Okay.
Yeah.
Events. Healy America's events. So you can go to that. You go to that calendar, by the way, guys. And it's got all the weekly calls and such, and the link, so you can actually join it directly from the calendar. All right. So if you have that, if you just have that link handy, right? And you can just, if you're not sure, you go there and you go, oh my gosh, What's Up Wednesday is starting right now. Okay, click on the link and you're in, or Tech Tip Tuesday, whichever one. But the time it starts and the link to get there is right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's it's been a great little grouping of questions. You guys had some great questions this evening. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Christian's been adding a bunch of stuff in the background there. By the way, these links are helpful. Save that chat. It's a lot easier than trying to copy and paste right now. You can do that later because you'll have a file on your desktop, right? That you can go and sort out. It's kind of like taking notes without taking notes.
That's right.
And then, of course, these recordings, by the way, folks, if you didn't know, when they go on to the YouTube page, they're hyperlinked. And so each question that came along during the call, it's going to have its own hyperlink and then a description of the question or the answer, whatever. And so you can click just to that spot, right? These hyperlinks are a little highlighted in blue. They're kind of like a link that goes directly to that spot in the recording, and you don't have to listen to the whole thing. But you can also share that, by the way. If you're looking at that on your computer or whatever, you're looking at that YouTube recording, if you right click on the blue hyperlink, you can copy and paste it. You can email it to someone. You know, if somebody just has this question and you go, oh, I just saw that, right? I get this all the time on so many different platforms that I need to save content, make some notes, whatever it is. You can send just that piece of that recording. So super helpful. If you ask me anyway, it's super helpful. We're dealing with a technology that has it's very high content based, right? It's sophisticated. And so there is a little bit of a learning curve, but with the Healy Academy, with the email trainings, with, you know, this call and other support structures, I mean, gosh, you can be an expert in a very short period of time. We're doing a lot. The Healy is doing a lot in the background. When you turn your Healy device on and you link to the app and you activate a program, you know, to maybe the person just seeing what's going on in the three-dimensional space, it's simple. What's going on in the quantum entanglement in the fifth dimensional space is a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on. So, and we've had calls about that quantum entanglement, right? We've had some cool stuff.
Yeah. So let me just, while we have a couple minutes to close here, I'll just go ahead and we'll just share the YouTube channel as well. It's always good to have a reminder on this one. So this is our Healy World Americas channel. You see here, you can get to it, as we mentioned, from HealyAmericas.com. Takes you right here. You can also find it within YouTube at Healy World Americas. And you see here, you got the most recent videos that are up here. We had the What's Up Wednesday that we did last week that had the great training on the Fibonacci sequence. Cosmic growth was there. And then Ken, it was actually 2 weeks ago, our Tech Tip Tuesday that we did was actually, it's already in the past year, it's our most watched Tech Tip Tuesday. It's only been out there for less than 2 weeks and it's already #1 in the past year. So that was a good one. We talked about cosmic growth, running programs at night, MagHealy water activation. So it's been popular, but let's just take a look at this one here. If you go to the video, let's just go, as Ken mentioned, when you first open it, you don't see a lot of information, but if you click the more, and you'll see here, all the different topics that we covered are all hyperlinked. And if you click on them, it takes you straight to that segment there. And you can see the different chapters down here as well, which is super convenient. And then, as Ken mentioned, if you right click on it, copy link address, you can send just that segment to somebody as well. So it's super easy to do. And Caroline from our customer care team does a great job getting all these videos up there super fast as well. So appreciate all the assistance because there is a ton of content on our channel here. And you'll see if you want to look at like the playlist, you can go look at all the Tech Tip Tuesdays that we've added to the YouTube channel. You see we're at 98. We have almost 100 videos just in the Tech Tip Tuesday category here. And then if you want to search just within our YouTube channel, not all of YouTube, you just click on this little magnifying glass here and then put your search terms in and go from there.
Very powerful tool, you guys. And Janice is asking, put the link in the chat. Are you talking about the YouTube page? Chat, in the chat, that link. That is, yes, okay.
Yeah, there it is. That's the HealyAmericas.com is the YouTube channel link.
HealyAmericas.com, you guys. So, and so what I do in my world is I have on my smart device or on my hard drive, I have, you know, a link list, right? A link list. And if it's important to you right now, it should be in your link list. It should be saved somewhere or multiple places for your access. Okay. So, thank you for the questions. Thank you for, you guys' participation. I love it. We are at the end of our hour. Time flies when you're having fun, I know. But thank you, Christian. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, audience. Appreciate you guys being here. Definitely share this and save the chat before we get off the air here. But we'll see you next week.
No, we'll see you Thursday also.
Well, we'll see you guys Tech Tip
Yes.
Tuesday next week. But all of
Yes.
you guys that were here tonight, join us on Thursday as well. All right,
All right.
guys. Have a good one. Bye for
Yeah,
now.
thanks everyone.